Well, good morning. It's morning here in Melbourne, and I'm very happy to be doing this today, just under the Christmas period. Well, we're in the middle of the Christmas period, just under Christmas, and this is lesson 10. Unbelievable. The time goes by very quickly indeed, and you can see my Babbo Natale there at the back. I thought I'd give it a bit of a time frame to include something from Christmas. Anyway, auguri, buon Natale a tutti e fate un buon anno pure. Va bene, cominciamo la lezione. We'll start the lesson soon. I said I would be speaking about a few things first before I start. It's a time of reflection too. This time of the year, because a year is going by, and as we move towards the new year, you want to make take on the idea of learning Italian and follow my lessons. Now, I've been reflecting about my lessons. It's very hard to speak for an hour and 5 minutes the way I do, and people to listen to it. It can be very boring, but because the online lesson remains, and then I can progress, always move towards other areas of the grammar. You will benefit if you go back to lesson 1 and work through it. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, until you finish and you're satisfied that you've completed that particular lesson 1. And then you got to lesson 2. What I've done this week is I've put up on my Insegna.com, in the blog section, the 15 canti of the Divine Comedy, Dante, the 12 lessons of world history, and only 6 lessons, the 6 lessons of Italian, the lesson of Italian, the learning of Italian or grammar. So you can actually access this work via Insegna.com. If you become familiar with it, it'll be very easy for you, because then you don't have to go down the line of my Facebook page. But the Facebook page is there because I also do other things with it, and it's good to have both sides, depending on how you want to approach it. There is another one too. There's TomPadulaTV.blogspot.com, and there's a whole line of different chapters, if you like. One of them is called Lessons. You'll find the same thing you find in Insegna.com in there. So down each week I put up, I write up what the lesson is about. This will be lesson 10, and then down the page you'll see TomPadula.blogspot.com, and by clicking that you'll go into my this other website. So there you are. But I also am here at Insegna Booksellers. I sell books, believe it or not. They're still very relevant, and I love online, but I think it's a mix. Our life should be a mix. We should not be totally always technical all the time. You need something physical to touch and feel. A book is such. And if you want to read a novel, what better way to just leave it there on the table and come back in 2 weeks' time and continue your chapter. You can do that with online as well, but you have to be very, very technologically minded to be able to do that. Most people, if you're like me, I forget after a week. It's very hard. But today we're doing the verb. And I'll continue with the verb. And today is important because I'm going to give you the auxiliary verbs, the present tense of essere and avere, and then I'm going to give you also the future tense, the future tenses. We're going to look at the way they are structured. Okay, so let's start the lesson. Okay, let's go. I had something here. Yeah, I wanted to show you, first of all. Wait a minute. the 9 parts of speech. Do you remember? 9 parts of speech. There you are. No, here we are. Okay. Do you remember these 9 parts of speech? I said I would start the lessons this way. Remember, noun, article, adjective, pronoun, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, exclamation, interjection. Now, this is not Italian. This is about Italian and about languages. There are variable parts of speech and there are invariable parts of speech. And we're going through them. So I want you to remember that because these ones here are important. So here is the auxiliary verb essere. Okay, but before we go to essere, what are they? They are auxiliary verbs. In other words, they help the other verbs here. Notice 7 moods of the verb, and there are also, I think the next page, we've got here, present tense, indicative, simple tenses, present, imperfect, past absolute and future tense. Then the compound tenses are perfect, pluperfect, past interior, future perfect. Now, if you notice, the imperfect, the past absolute, the perfect, the pluperfect, and past interior are past tenses. The past, is taken care of pretty well because the present is what it's now. And the future interior, the past, future, in other words, you're looking at towards, let's say, 2050, and you want to talk about what happens to, the progress we've made in 2035, and you are speaking now in 2021. The future, il passato, futuro passato, the future anteriore, futuro anteriore, is the one that looks forward to 2050, but looks backwards, but from the point of view of 2020. So that's, you have to understand that. But what we're doing at the moment is we're actually doing just the verbs. Present tense and future tense. So we're making some, after the future tense, I'll go into the past tenses in the future. And we'll have covered most of the grammar, except there's a lot more in terms of going, in terms of going to the details of the grammar, because there's a lot more to this, because then la pratica batte la grammatica, ma senza la grammatica non si migliorare o perfezionare la lingua che vuoi imparare. So what you need there is simple. You need to practice the language, and then you need to understand how you can improve it. And grammar does it for you. Also, I'll be touching on phonology, the way you pronounce words, intonation. We'll do syntax, the writing, how you write, what's good writing, what's bad. So there's language is an infinite, really and truly, subject area, because it follows you all the days of your life. And whatever you've left afterwards follows you afterwards, like Dante Alighieri. He wrote it so many years ago, but it's still there. And if people want it, they can access it. If it's kept, if it's valuable, then people keep it. Simple. So that's where we are. Now I'm going to do just the auxiliary verbs. These are easy ones. Here we go. Okay? We're going to do these ones here. Okay. In English, we say, I am, you are, he or she is, we are, you are, they are. I'm Australian, you're Italian, he's German, she's intelligent. It also refers to, it could be, you could put it referring to a dog. It is, or a plant. It is a beautiful rose. So that is the third person, referring to third people or things or animals, whatever. We are, you are, they are. In Italian it is io sono, tu sei, lui lei è, noi siamo, voi siete, loro sono. And I used to have to learn this off by heart. Now that's the essere one. So you don't need to, have devolve 2 or 3 chapters to it. That's it. You just have to learn it. The next one is avere, to have. In English, I have, you have, he or she has, we have, you have, they have. Now, let's not forget that you can say also in English, I am having, I do have. A bit different from I am. So this one here behaves like the normal tenses of are, and ire. So I am having, I didn't do it today, I didn't have time, I've just done it now. I'll come back to this later. But in Italian, it's io ho. The H is not pronounced. Io ho. Not io ho, no. Io ho, tu hai, lui, lei ha, noi abbiamo, voi avete, loro hanno. Now, I didn't give any examples today. All I wanted to do was to actually focus on the present tense of essere and avere. So, io ho, if you say I am having a cup of tea, I am having, you still say in Italian io ho. Do you have a blue dress for Christmas? Do you have? That's a question. In Italian it's hai un abito blu per Natale. So that's where this understanding comes in. Well, you have to understand it in English first before you can actually improve your Italian. But by doing this, you also improve your English. Because how many people knew that there are 3 present tenses in English? Not many people. I've never heard it before. This is my own. I haven't seen it anywhere else. They've made references to it, but not the way I've done it. It's an easy way of accessing the English language when you understand the way the verb is structured in English. Okay, so we've done the present tense now of are, ere, and ire. You remember we did this last week. We did are, see, I tempi here, but then we went to the pronouns, the personal pronouns, which we use in the verbs here. You remember that? There we are. Io parlo, tu parli, lui parla, noi parliamo, voi parlate, loro parlano. Okay? The second can, io credo, tu credi, lui crede, noi crediamo, voi credete, loro credono. Io sento, tu senti, lui sente, noi sentiamo, voi sentite, loro sentono. And also, io finisco, tu finisci, lui finisce, lei finisce, noi finiamo, voi finite, loro finiscono. That's the way, you learn this off by heart, preferably. And don't forget, the 3 ways in English as well. I finish, I'm finishing, I do finish, etc. Now that's the present tense. Okay, now we've done here, this one here. Now, essere and the auxiliary verb avere. There they are. Now I'm going to start on the future tense of the verbs. Let's do the auxiliary ones first. Okay, now the future tense of essere is io sarò, tu sarai, lui, lei sarà. Notice the accents on the O and the I. Noi saremo, voi sarete, loro saranno. And in English is I shall be. When you say I will be, it's an act of volontà, willpower. You don't use will, I will be, in an ordinary future tense. It says I shall have this. But when you say I will have this, it's an act of will in English. So I shall be, you will be, he or she will be, it will be, whatever. We shall be, you will be, they will be. So that's the future tense of essere. Io sarò, tu sarai, lui sarà, lei sarà, noi saremo, voi sarete, loro saranno. When we come to some of the songs today, and I didn't have time to actually identify them all, I'll show them to you as I go through each song. There are 4 songs we're going to do. Okay, the future tense in English also, notice, if you say, I shall have a cup of tea at 3 o'clock this afternoon, okay? But you could also say, I'm going to have dinner at 6 o'clock. I am going to be a very important person. I am going to succeed. Now, when you say I'm going to, that's actually a future tense. It's like saying I shall be, I will be. So you can't say sono andare, to be essere. It doesn't work like that. You have to use it as a present, as a future tense. Io sarò, tu sarai, lui sarà, noi saremo, etc. So the translation of I'm going to be is io sarò un uomo importante, io sarò un bravo attore, io sarò un ottimo figlio, etc. So that's to be, essere. The next one is avere. Avere. Now, don't forget that this is only an initial presentation. It's not, we come back to these things in the practice all the time. I will refer back. Did you remember the auxiliary verb? Did you remember the present tense? Do you remember this? So I'll refer back to these, to what is being taught grammatically when we are correcting things, when we're correcting language or presenting new material. That's how it works. So, io avrò, in Italian, tu avrai, lui, lei avrà. Notice the accent on the O and the I again. Noi avremo, voi avrete, loro avranno. So, there, you actually drop the ERE and you add O. R-O, R-I-I. R-I, R-E-M-O, R-E-T-E, I-V-R-I-N-N-O. So we've got io avrò, tu avrai, lui lei avrà, noi avremo, voi avrete, loro avranno. In English is I shall have, you will have, he or she will have, we shall have, you will have, they will have. But you can also say in English, I am going to have. And it's still io avrò. And that's the future tense of avere. Now, the next one. Future tense of are verbs. Now, this is an interesting one because this is a formula for all the verbs ending in IRE. Now, by learning the endings of these words, of these verbs, you access all the verbs ending in IRE. And I will show you this in the songs. In the songs that we will do. For example, look at this. Fra qualche giorno finirà, sulla spiaggia niente resterà. Le ore passate saranno. We've just done that. Porteremo. Oh, there you are. So this is the future tense. Io parlerò, tu parlerai, lui, lei parlerà, noi parleremo, voi parlerete, loro parleranno. So, in English, I shall speak. But in English too, there's another bit in English that I hadn't covered, that you can shorten the future tense by saying, I'll speak, you'll speak, he'll speak, we'll speak, you'll speak, they'll speak. So that I'll do something really means I shall do something. So cantare, io canterò, tu canterai, lui, lei canterà, noi canteremo, voi canterete, loro canteranno. Lodare, to praise. Io loderò, tu loderai, lui, lei loderà, noi loderemo, voi loderete, loro loderanno. Notice, there's nothing there. I do this off the cuff. I've learned this 60 years ago, more. You learn the endings of the verbs. And once you've learned a lot, you carry them with you all your life. So that's, and also don't forget the future tense in English of I shall speak, I am going to speak. You can do that too. So it's I shall speak, I'll speak, I'm going to speak. And in Italian it's only one. Io parlerò, tu parlerai, lui lei parlerà. The next one is credere. Second conjugation verbs. You remember we did the credere in the present tense. Now this is the future tense. Now notice that with the future, there isn't really much of a change between first, second and third conjugation, and even with avere. It's it's easy. Because this one here is io crederò, tu crederai, lui, lei crederà, noi crederemo, voi crederete, loro crederanno. Now this one here is a bit different, because this one here is a bit of irregular. It'll be io vedrò. So this one here we have to leave aside for the future to be treated separately. That's why I said with the are, ere, and ire verbs, there are also exceptions. So as you meet the exceptions, you have to tackle them on the spot. But scrivere is like credere. So you can say io scriverò, tu scriverai, io scriverà, noi scriveremo, voi scriverete, loro scriveranno. And again, I shall write, you will write, he or she will write, we shall write, you will write, they will write. Or I'll write, you'll write, he'll write, she'll write, etc. Or I'm going to write. I'm going to write the best novel you've ever seen. It may take me a few years, like 100 years, but I'll get there eventually. Okay, things like that. You can play with the language and learn the grammar as you go along. So that's credere. But credere is believe it. I shall believe, I'll believe, I'm going to believe. Then the next one is ire, verbs. Now with the ire verbs, you remember we had the difference between sentire and capire, for example. The verbs that end in isk. But in the future, they behave in the same way. So the future tense is the same for all verbs ending in ire. There's no exception. So you can say io dormirò, tu dormirai, lui o lei dormirà, noi dormiremo, voi dormirete, loro dormiranno. And notice the accent on the O and the I, dormirò, irà, iremo, irete, iremo. I don't like this particular way of using, the endings, the way I've written them there. They should really be in colour too, shouldn't they? Well, you can do that. You can rewrite them again and use different colour pens. Enjoy these. It's important that you actually... I thought I had something else here. Where do I put it? Okay, well, I think I'll have... But here we go. Capire. Io capirò, tu capirai, lui, lei capirà, noi capiremo, voi capirete, loro capiranno. Same as servire. Io servirò, tu servirai, lui, lei servirà, noi serviremo, voi servirete, loro serviranno. So these are the future tenses of are, ere, and ire verbs. Okay? Now, how long has it taken me? It's taken me not even 20 minutes to do all this. And, but la pratica batte la grammatica. So we want to give some more time some more time to the language, because here, Tanta voglia di lei, this is a song by Ipu, and I sang this in toto in my history lesson on Thursday. And by the way, I've decided that I'm going to bring the lessons here during the day. So in other words, the Thursday, not this Thursday, the history lesson will be on Thursday at 7:30 p.m., 7:25 p.m. But from the week after, I will announce on Thursday that from the week after that, it'll be done at 11:25 to 12:30. All the 3 lessons, even on the Sunday. So Sunday actually starting, this coming Sunday with Dante Alighieri. So if you go there at night, it won't be there. It'll be there. I'll be doing it in the morning from 7:25 to 12:30. But of course, because these live lessons get recorded, and I don't have to repeat them again, they will be there 24/7, 7 days a week. So if you want to access them, you can. The whole idea for me is that when I've done my presentations, I don't have to go back unless I want to tackle something else within those parameters, if you like, of what I've covered so far. So my lessons will never be the same. They'll always be original in the sense that each lesson will not be repeated. They'll be about the same things, maybe, but it'll be taken from a different angle. So it'll be different songs. I might come back to them, but they won't be the same songs necessarily in the same order, etc. So repetition is important. I can't stress that enough. Repetition. And my lessons online can be very boring for somebody who is not interested. But if you are interested, then you actually go over what I say, you'll notice, and also I'm trying to sell the idea that the fact that you might get bored along the way. Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. Anyway, I've shown you Tanta voglia di lei. So, I've shown you Tanta voglia di lei. I'm going to do Lisa dagli occhi blu as well. I'm going to do, that's from Mario Tessuto, Peppino Gagliardi, Settembre, and then I'm going to do Lazzarella by Carosone in Neapolitan, in the local Neapolitan language. So that'll be interesting to see how the actual local languages in Italy, they call them dialects. It's, for me, the dialect up to now, I've realised it's a put down. Because even Italian in the original way, it was frowned upon because Dante wrote in the vulgus language, in la lingua volgare, la lingua del popolo, because Latin was the official language. It's a bit like in Australia too, we speak English, okay? But if you speak other languages all the time, I don't know, you can't get away with it because the main language is English. So therefore all the other languages are secondary language. If you go to Italy, other languages are secondary, including English. France, same thing. So ognuno si guarda il suo. Everyone looks after their own. Don't we? We do. And thank you very much to Maria and Armando and Petrucci and Dino Lucio Bevanda. Hello, and I hope that you stay on with me and do some singing. Now, if you prepared yourself, Tanta voglia di lei, and you had the words in front of you by going to Google, and you might need a couple of phones. I don't know if you got the computer in front of you, but this is Tanta voglia di lei. If you bring it up, you can. Let's go through it in a grammatical sense. Mi dispiace di svegliarti. Forse un uomo non sarò. Future tense. Sarò, io sarò, tu sarai, lo sarà. Un uomo non sarò, io non sarò. Ma ad un tratto so che devo lasciarti. So, io so, is present tense. Fra un minuto me ne andrò. Now this is like vedere, vedrò. It's andare, andrò. It's one of the exceptions, future exceptions. But it's a future tense. E non dici una parola, from dire, dici is present tense. Sei più piccola che mai. Io sono, tu sei. You are. And Italians, because they've got the six pronouns, they don't need to write them down all the time. It's understood that it's tu sei più piccola che mai. Sei più piccola, you understand. The minute you know Italian. But sei can also be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is it saying? 6 more small? That doesn't make sense. Sei, in this case, has to be the verb. In silenzio, morderai. Mordere, to bite. Morderai. Io morderò, tu morderai. Le lenzuola. So in silence, you will mordere. Sheets, you will, you'll eat your sheets because he's going. So che non perdonerai, and I know that when I walk out of that door, you will not forgive. Perdonare, perdonerai. It's a future tense. Mi dispiace, present tense. Devo andare. 3 verbs in a row. I'm sorry, I have to go. Mi dispiace is a reflexive verb. Devo is an ordinary transitive verb. Andare is an infinitive verb. Il mio posto è. Io sono, tu sei, lui è. See? Il mio posto è là. And it's là with an accent means there. Là without means the. Il mio amore si potrebbe svegliare. Now, that's one there is a conditional tense, which we haven't done. We'll come back to that. It's a conditional present tense. It's a conditional tense, not present. It's conditional tense. Chi la scalderà? Who will warm her up? Scaldare is to heat up, to warm up. La, in this case, notice la. In this case here, it means who will warm her up. So it's a pronoun. So la in Italian can be the, can be a pronoun, her, it can be there. Easier when you do the grammar, and if you write and you get them wrong, that's where you get your red mark. Strana amica di una sera, strana amica, amica strana. In this case, before the noun. So strana in this case an adjective. Strana, strange friend. Di una sera, of one night stand. This one. Lo io ringrazierò. It can't be lo. It has to be io. So it's emphasizing. Strana amica di una sera. Io ringrazierò, not someone else. I will. If you had said just ringrazierò, it's not. So there's an emphasis there that io is an emphasis. Io ringrazierò. La tua pelle sconosciuta e sincera. There you are. The adjectives sconosciuta e sincera, sconosciuta e sincera are adjectives that come after pelle, which means skin. La tua is a possessive adjective. La is the article. So la tua pelle sconosciuta e is a conjunction that never changes. E is e, ma is me, ma is ma. So la tua pelle sconosciuta e sincera. Ma nella mente, ma in my mind, nella, ma is a conjunction. Nella is a preposition. And they don't change. Those are the invariable parts of speech. Mente, a word that ends in E. La mente. But it's L-I, the mind. It's feminine. I wonder why la mente is feminine. I had someone in Tasmania used to say to me, oh, Tom, don't follow the rules of grammar. It's so easy. The things that belong to the women are all feminine, and the things that belong to the males are all males. Well, I'm sorry, mate. La mente belongs to everybody. Why is it feminine? Oh, there you are. Ok. Ma nella mente c'è tanta voglia di lei. La voglia is the want, the wish. Tanta, in this case, is a numerical thing. So much is an adjective. The preposition. Lei. That's another a disjunct. It's called a disjunctive pronoun. You know, you got to study the pronouns again. That's where these songs then become really valuable pieces to be used in schools. Lei si muove e la sua mano dolcemente cerca me. Beautiful here. Lei, we said that, si muove, reflexive verb. Si is a reflexive pronoun. Oneself, yourself, etc. That's io, mi, tu, ti, lui, si. E la sua mano, again, la sua mano, sua, is an adjective. Dolcemente, I love this one. Ah, finally, I got a verb ending in mente. Dolce is sweet. Dolcemente is actually an adverb. But in this case here, the adverb, notice that the adverb comes after the verb, right? Cerca is the verb. Where have they put dolcemente? Before. Why? And that's the language for you. You have to, with reading, etc., you then will know whether to put the actual adverb before or after. Ok. E nel sonno sto abbracciando pian piano il suo uomo che non c'è. Sorry, I've done it. I didn't show you. But anyway, I'll go back to here. So, let's have a look at this first half. Tanta voglia di lei. Mi dispiace di svegliarti, forse un uomo non sarò, ma ad un tratto so che devo lasciarti, fra un minuto me ne andrò e non dici una parola, sei più piccola che mai. In silenzio morderai le lenzuola, so che non perdonerai. Notice le lenzuola. It's I lenzuoli, but il lenzuolo is the sheet. I lenzuoli are the sheets, but also you can also have it in, it's an exception. Le lenzuola. Le is plural. Le lenzuola. And a lot of the singers don't know the grammar, so they say le lenzuoli. But these particular people, they know they're Italian, obviously. Ok. E non dici una parola, sei più piccola che mai. In silenzio morderai le lenzuola, so che non perdonerai. Mi dispiace, devo andare, il mio posto è là. Il mio amore si potrebbe svegliare, chi la scalderà? Strana amica di una sera, io ringrazierò la tua pelle sconosciuta e sincera, ma nella mente c'è tanta voglia di lei. Notice tanta twice. It means very. When you repeat it, it means a lot. You know, a real lot. Tanta voglia di lei. Lei si muove e la sua mano dolcemente cerca me. And I love this one. E nel sonno sta abbracciando pian piano il suo uomo che non c'è. So notice there. E, conjunction. Nel, again, preposition. Sonno, a noun. Il sonno. Sta abbracciando. Notice there. Sta abbracciando. In this case here, that sta is io sto, tu stai, lui sta, noi stiamo, voi state, loro stanno. But when it's sta abbracciando, embracing. So and in her sleep, she is embracing, slowly, pian piano, il suo uomo, her man, che, relative pronoun, non c'è, who's not there. So she's embracing her man who's not there. Mi dispiace. So in his mind, he pictures his woman in bed. And he says to the other one, mi dispiace, devo andare. Il mio posto è là. My place is there. What am I doing here with this one night stands? Well, you know, a lot of people fall into it. That's how it is. Sometimes. Mi dispiace, devo andare, il mio posto è là. Il mio amore si potrebbe svegliare. Chi la scalderà? Now, we've seen some of these words here before. Nella mente c'è tanta voglia di lei. He repeats that. Chiudo gli occhi. Now, this is a good one. Chiudo is from chiudere, to shut. I shut my eyes. Gli occhi. L'occhio è l'apostrofe. Definite article. In the plural, it's gli. Do you remember that? Un solo istante. Solo, only. But solo in this case is an adjective. Solo istante. La tua porta io do, è chiusa già, is already chiusa, è chiusa, is actually what they call the perfect tense, which we haven't done. I'll be doing that in the next couple of weeks. Già. Now, è chiusa già has to be an adverb. Can it be a conjunction? Can it be something else? The già is important to me. I reckon it's an adverb, but maybe it's not. This will come later when I come back to this, and there are the exceptions, and you actually study things closely. Ho capito che cos'era importante, il mio posto è solo là. So, tanta voglia di lei. And it's a beautiful, beautiful song. I listen to it many times when I walk in the kitchen. Beautiful. We'll just do it once more, and then we'll go to the next one. Mi dispiace di svegliarti. Did I say you can sing along with me? I can't hear you, but you can try it. Okay, Robbie John is on. And Bart Sancholo. Wow, that's fantastic. Okay, sing along with me. Boys and girls, all of you. Mi dispiace di svegliarti, forse un uomo non sarò, ma ad un tratto so che devo lasciarti, fra un minuto me ne andrò e non dici una parola, sei più piccola che mai, in silenzio morderai le lenzuola, so che non perdonerai, mi dispiace, devo andare, il mio posto è là, il mio amore si potrebbe svegliare, chi la scalderà? Strana amica di una sera, io ringrazierò, la tua pelle sconosciuta e sincera, ma nella mente c'è tanta voglia di lei. Lei si muove e la sua mano dolcemente cerca me e nel sonno sta abbracciando pian piano il suo uomo che non c'è. Mi dispiace, devo andare, il mio posto è là, il mio amore si potrebbe svegliare, chi la scalderà? Nella mente c'è tanta voglia di lei. Chiudo gli occhi un solo istante, la tua porta è chiusa già. Ho capito che cos'era importante, il mio posto è solo là. Chiudo gli occhi un solo istante, la tua porta è chiusa già. Ho capito che cos'era importante, il mio posto è solo là. Now, my musician friends would kill me because music is like maths, no changes. Here, you can do whatever you want, really, if people let you get away with it. But I've been with choirs and musicians for quite a long time. And the reason why I am actually singing is it's like my TomPadulaTV. They didn't want Channel 31. They didn't want Insegna Media for some reason because I was, selling books. What am I supposed to call myself? TomPadula. Yeah, it's fantastic. That's how TomPadula came. Singing, same thing. Oh, you can't sing. What do you mean I can't sing? But I want to, I don't care. I don't want to perform. I just want to learn. And no. And then I sang with a baritone. And the guy was stretching his word to show off, And notice when Claudio Villa sings and the others, they all stretch the words their own way. You know what the trick is? So that you can't sing the way they do. Simple. And then they become the professionals. But with the technology the way we have it now, we can do whatever we want. I know there are some people who could criticize, and they do. Let them. In fact, I'm enjoying the lesson so much because there's nobody here. Okay, let's go to the next one. Enough. That was a digression. Okay. This one here is called Lisa dagli occhi blu. This is another one that you probably haven't heard before. Mario Tessuto. Again, if you can Google or Chrome or I can never remember the last one. The third one. Chrome, and I'll remember it eventually. Fine. Well, anyway, you can look them up. Lisa dagli occhi blu can actually you can get your lyrics, and you can also listen to Mario Tessuto. Beautiful interpretation. But here we go. I'll just get going, okay? Lisa dagli occhi blu, senza le trecce la stessa non sei più. Piove silenzio tra noi, vorrei parlarti ma te ne vai. Eppure quasi fino a ieri mi chiamavi amore tu, ma nei tuoi pensieri oggi non ci sono più. Classe seconda B, il nostro amore è cominciato lì. Lisa dagli occhi blu, senza le trecce non sei più tu. Okay, now let's go to the actual grammar. That's what we're doing this for. Lisa is a proper name. Dagli occhi blu, preposition. By the way, in Latin, there are no prepositions. There are the declensions. And that's where the volgare, la lingua volgare, developed. They brought in the prepositions. I've got to check this out in the around, after the fall of the Roman Empire. But Latin was the lingua franca of the whole Roman world. But as time went on. Okay, Lisa dagli occhi blu. Notice the blu doesn't have an accent. Blue, okay? Senza le trecce. La treccia is with her hair. Never mind. You look her up. Senza le trecce. La stessa, the same. Non sei più tu. Non più. No longer. You are no longer the same. Okay. La treccia is oh my God. One of the, people I used to remember from school had le trecce nere. Beautiful. Piove silenzio tra noi. Piove. It rains. It's an intransitive verb. You can't say piove what? Piove la pioggia, I suppose. But they say it's an intransitive one. Silenzio. Piove silenzio. Not il silenzio. Silenzio. But it's still a proper noun, silenzio. Tra noi. Tra is another preposition amongst us, but it doesn't mix with the article. So in other words, there are a lot of prepositions, they're not articulated prepositions. Again, if I don't remember, it doesn't matter. If you don't remember, it doesn't matter, because these things here are forever. Language is forever. Therefore, it doesn't matter when you start. As long as you want to learn, that's how you do it. You just practice it. That's it. Any excuse will do. Vorrei, tra noi, vorrei parlarti, vorrei. Now, vorrei is a conditional. Vorrei, this will do. Maybe, after I finish the indicative mood, this is the conditional mood, and the subjunctive, etc. So vorrei is a conditional mood. It's different from the indicative. I would like. It's not something that is real now. It's it's what you want to do. Parlarti, parlare. Notice the ti drops the e at the end and adds ti. Parlarti. I want to speak to you. Infinitive plus the ti. Vorrei parlarti, because there's vorrei in front. Parlarti, I would like, and then parlarti. And in a syntax situation, one is the main clause and the other one is the whatever. It's the attachment. The attachment. It's not, doesn't belong to the main clause. Ma te ne vai. Vorrei parlare, ma, conjunction. Te, you. Ne, again that ne, vai, ne. It's a very particular use of the ne. You going. Eppure, and yet, it's a conjunction. Quasi fino a ieri. Quasi fino a ieri. These are stock phrases in Italian. Quasi fino a ieri. Io ero molto giovane. Tutto ad un tratto mi sono fatto bambino. Ok. Eppure quasi fino a ieri mi chiamavi amore tu, mi chiamavi. Mi chiamavi, chiamare, that's in perfect tense, chiamavi. We haven't done it yet. The past tenses we're going to do next week and the week after. Amore tu, mi chiamavi amore, you called me love, you. Ma nei tuoi pensieri, but in your mind, oggi non ci sono più. Today, classe seconda B, il nostro amore è cominciato lì. Lista dagli occhi blu, senza le trecce, non sei più tu. Now, I've got two more songs. I'm going to sing the rest of it. I'm not going to analyze this because I want to do settembre, where there are a lot of future tenses. So here we go. Let's do the last bit. It says, Lisa dagli occhi blu, senza le trecce non sei più tu. La primavera è finita, ma forse la vita comincia così. Amore fatto di vento, il primo rimpianto sei stata tu. Lisa dagli occhi blu, senza le trecce la stessa non sei più. Cerco negli occhi tuoi la tenerezza che più non hai. Eppure quasi fino a ieri mi chiamavi amore tu, ma nei tuoi pensieri oggi non ci sono più. Classe seconda B, chi avrebbe detto che poi finiva qui? Piove silenzio tra noi, vorrei parlarti, ma te ne vai. La primavera è finita, ma forse la vita comincia così. Amore fatto di vento, il primo rimpianto sei stata tu. La primavera è finita, ma forse la vita comincia così. Amore fatto di vento, il primo rimpianto sei stata tu. And then there's music, etc., etc. So Lisa dagli occhi blu, good if you want to go to Mario Tessuto. And the two songs we've just done, you can, in fact, read over and over again. That's la pratica. That's your practice. Why do you have to talk to somebody when you can sing? avoid Settembre. This is Peppino Gagliardi. It's pretty well known, but not quite so, you know. It's, you know, some of the singers, it's like with all art, you know, some pieces are better than others. Isn't that right, Bart? But they're all our children. So, you know, whenever you create something, the creator loves them all. Okay, but other people, they like some things and not others. Okay, Settembre. I'm going to sing it first. And notice, let's see whether you can identify the future tenses. Fra qualche giorno finirà l'estate e sulla spiaggia niente resterà. Le ore passate saranno un ricordo che noi porteremo lontano, io e te. L'estate se ne andrà insieme al sole, l'amore se n'è andato già con lei. Le prime gocce baciano la sabbia e stanno già bagnando gli occhi miei. Settembre poi verrà, ma senza sole, e forse un altro amore nascerà. Settembre poi verrà, ma non ti troverà, e piangeranno solo gli occhi miei. Settembre poi verrà, ma non ti troverà, e piangeranno solo gli occhi miei. E piangeranno solo gli occhi miei, e piangeranno solo gli occhi miei. Notice here the future tenses. Notice this song is a short one. Okay, and the reason why it's a short one, because music in this case here, it's a beautiful song, and there's repetition of the stanzas by the singer. Okay, so that's what you can do with songs. You can repeat them over and over again. On the dancing floor, the musicians sometimes repeat the same ritornello, the same chorus line, 3, 4, 5 times. And then, you know, you say, oh, when are they going to feed us? Okay, now the reason why I've done that quickly, because I've got Lazzarella here. Okay, Lazzarella is a Renato Carosone song in Neapolitan. Now this is a challenge for you guys, and I'm going to spend a bit of time here explaining it. Okay, here we go. Che libbre sotto braccio e a camicetta a fiore blu, vuoi fa, signorinella, nanza a scuola pure tu. Te piglia la sigaretta quando accatta per papà, te mette già un rossetto come vide e fa mamma Lazzarella. Lazzarella means a girl who's, you know, sort of streetwise and very attractive too. Okay, and she's a student. Che libbre sotto, con I libri, see? Che libbre, con I, preposition. Libre, not libre, livre in French, libre, libri in italiano, but in napoletano is libre, che libre, con I libri, che libre sotto, that's all right, in English, o braccio, il braccio. So il become O with a little accent before the O. Che libre sotto braccio, e a camicetta. So il e la becomes O, and a with the apostrophe in front. E a camicetta, camicia, camicetta. We haven't done the diminutives of words. The actual nouns, a lot of the nouns can be made small, big, prettier. They're called diminutive, pejorative, and the other one I can't remember. We'll get to it when we get to it. When we get to it, I'll explain it. Okay. Camicetta è fiore. They, now, in this case here, è fiore. Now, è fiore blu. Now, the guy who wrote the song here does not is Neapolitan. Because that because if you say, e la camicetta di fiore blu, you should have put a little apostrophe in front of the because then it gives the impression that is like and, which is not the case. So che il libro sotto braccio e la camicetta è fiore blu, di fiori blu. Fa a signorinella, tu vuoi, he drops the I. We haven't done the verb volere, because they're special verbs too. Fa, from fare, you drop the R, so you put the accent. A signorinella, you remember a camicetta, a signorinella? This is pretty. Signorina, signorinella. Pretty girl. Nanza a scuola pure tu. Davanti alla scuola. Davanti, di dietro. What are they? Are they adverbs? Or are they prepositions? Check it out. Again, some things escaped me at the time. Well, the student has to find out. A scuola, same as before. Pure tu. Pure, same as in tu. Same as in Italian. Te piglia, a sigaretta. Te piglia. You take. So that te piglia is like tu. Te piglia. Tu piglia a sigaretta. Again, a sigaretta, a scuola, a camicetta. Quando accattare is to comprare. Accattare, acheter, comes from the French. Accattare. Quando accatte, per papa. So when the French were there, they picked up acheter. Tu achètes, see? Tu achètes. And the Neapolitan said, accatte. Per papa. Okay. Te miette, tu. Te miette, già, already, must be an adverb here. Oruset. You remember oruset, ovrach, oruset? Come vide, like you saw, past tense. E fa, di fare. And in this case here, have you noticed you put the accent? E fa, di fare, whereas in the e fiore, he didn't do it. And that's like, I didn't do it on purpose, it's a mistake. But you can correct it. We correct in Neapolitan, as that. Not even Neapolitan. E fa, mamma, like you saw, mamma, Lazzare. So, now that you understand, sing it. Che libre sotto braccia e a camicetta a fiore blu, fa signorinella, nanza a scuola, pure tu. Te piglia la sigaretta quando accatta per papà, te mette già un rossetto come vide fa mamma Lazzare. Okay. I've got an upstairs here at the shop and it's hot. And, I can't afford the air conditioner up here. Anyway, never mind. Okay. Come and buy books. Ma Lazzarella come sì, e mi piace sempre più, e venga apposta per tutti, vicino a scuola do Gesù. Tu invece mi rispondi già, io devo retta proprio a te, per me l'amore può aspettare, ma che non già fa, non fa per me. Ah, Lazzarella, ventate primavera, quando passa tutte le mattine, già ti spiecca in te vetrina. Solo un complimento ti fa vampà, ma Lazzarella come sì, tu non mi pensi proprio a me, e ridere per me fa capire che perdo presso a te. Okay. Well, that's the end. This is the other one. I can't do more, but I will finish off the singing part. Movin uno studente innanzi a scuola do Gesù, te va sempre più stretta la camicetta a fiore blu. Te piglia quattro schiaffe tutte le volte che papà te trovano un biglietto che ti scrive che là Lazzare. Ma Lazzarella come sì, cioè sei caduta pure tu. L'amore non ti fa mangiare, ti fa soffrire, ti fa pensare. Una sera tu le dici no, una sera tu le dici ma se non va se te vo da, fa segni sì senza parla. Ah, Lazzarella, o tempo come vola, mo te trovo tutte mattine. Che nelle lacrime sto cuscino, manca una campagnella tu puoi aiutare. Ma Lazzarella come sì, te si cagnata pure tu, e ti prepari di stu sì, ma dinta chiesa ad oggi Gesù. Ah. So that's Lazzarella. Renato Carosone, great, you really do yourself a favor and listen to his songs. He's very modern, unbelievable talent. Renato Carosone. Lazzarella, they sing it everywhere. It's a famous song. Okay, haven't got much more time. Thank you very much for those people who have come in. And I can see Dino, Bart, Robbie, and Angela's come on too. So good. I hope I didn't bore you too much, but I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Well, for the lesson, but for for the others, I'll be home. Ok, all right. Ciao, statevi bene tutti. Ok, arrivederci. Ci vediamo la prossima settimana. Grazie. Tom Padula TV on YouTube. Insegna.com, Insegna Booksellers, etc. Come and see me sometimes. Be nice to have a coffee with whoever comes. Ciao, ciao. Arrivederci. Ciao. And now we're finishing off.